Alright, test, let's see. Hello. Everything working, I think. Hey, Cyan. Hey, Denix sucks. Hey, Vicharka. Oh, and thanks for the follow, Chafe Flame. How is it going? How is your week going? Your post E3 event, or at least the post important E3 event week, I guess. Hey, Chafe Flame. Welcome to the stream. I have no water. Damn. Oh, guess I'll die. Same, busy. Fairly busy. And a bit uninspired, not gonna lie. Which is also why I'm not currently working on the project. If you're following the progress of the project, the Action Adventure 1, I'm right now right at the sweet spot of me giving up on that project. Because I feel that I did some of the things that I wanted to do in general, and then everything after that is just going to be so daunting and so complicated and tiresome, and I know I just have to push through, or at least like change the scenery a little bit and work on something else. And it would help if I knew exactly what I wanted to do and what exactly that game was going to be. Oh, and thanks for the follow, Papaya 999. Damn, there are 998 papayas already. Damn, popular nickname. Yeah, game dev, I know, right? But yeah, I probably need to, like, first of all, I need to understand what the hell this game is supposed to be. So there's that, and maybe actually write a game design document. I have started it, but it's still, yeah, it's very empty. And yeah, after that, I don't know. I'll have to see. So yeah, lately I've been actually struggling with finding things to do on stream. I thought that the streams would help me like focus and work on the personal projects, but it turns out that, you know, when I get desperate like that, even the streams won't help. Jobmin, I'm using in general the standard particle system because I'm not using any scriptable render pipelines. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just on the Shuriken particle system. VFX graph looks awesome, but the rest of the URP or HDRP stuff I don't enjoy so much. Maybe one stream could be either some game design work, task planning. I mean, yeah, maybe, but I doubt that this could be interesting for you. For anybody to watch. And either way, like, the problem with this project and the problem with my creative process with projects like that in general is that I don't have the whole game in my head. I just have like a couple of cool moments and cool concepts and some stuff to tie it all together and some stuff that I want to do. And then, you know, I don't have the rest of the game. So it's basically what Snyder is doing in his movies, where he just maybe thinks of like one or two cool concepts and maybe one or two cool screenshot moments. And then he tries to fill the rest of it with like 4 hours of garbage. Hey Dranak, and thanks for the follow, and hey Lenekis. So yeah, I'm at the Snyder type of conundrum right now when it comes to the process of the project. So yeah, but you know what? I'm actually planning to. Sorry, something weird. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I'm actually planning on maybe asking on Twitter or anywhere about ideas as to what else I could do on stream, because I mean I have some ideas, but I guess I have to plan some things maybe. I wouldn't be against also like just streaming actual games, like playing games, if that's something that people might want to see, I don't know. But again, that could also be like a good chance for me to play games on the PC, because I mostly play on the Switch. Yeah, in case you don't remember, I still have like these 3 games on my desktop. I have started them in like 1 session each, and I haven't continued playing them. So yeah, maybe that's an option. I would be open to the possibility of like doing like some sort of structured but also a bit improvised tutorials, like on stream, like live shader tutorials. That could be cool. Thanks for the follow, Peter Zavipou. Yeah. I can make VFX stuff according to fan requests. Yeah, and to be honest, today I also thought about something like that, though I do have something in mind that I could maybe try. Recently I've been playing around with like more stylized but more coherent VFX. So I'm drawing a lot of inspiration from Valorant. So, and that's the stuff I want to do today. And I've actually been quite excited about some VFX work I've been doing for some freelance stuff lately. Because due to some restrictions, I actually cannot use post-processing, not even like Bloom. And that actually has forced me to try out some new stuff, and they turned out pretty cool, and I'm excited about that. So yeah, a mix of play and analyzing, discussing game. Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, if I could understand what was going on in there. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know how familiar you are, like any of you, with tech art and all that stuff, but the thing is that the more you get into tech art, I mean that's the same with any aspect of game development, but the more you get into tech art, the less you can enjoy games again, because you, instead of like looking at, I don't know, whatever the designers wanted you to look at, you will end up looking at reflections and what the patterns of wind they're using to make their trees sway. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like, fun fact, did you know, have you noticed that if you played Sea of Thieves, that the sails on the ships do not get reflected on the water? So yeah. That's something that can ruin your day, so there you go. The more you get into tech art, the more you realize you don't know enough about tech art. Well, yeah, I mean, that's again, that's the same with all game development. But yeah, tech art especially, because tech art is such a broad field, and you can say that, you know, you're doing shaders, so you're kinda like in tech art, but then you see tech artists that do animations and rigging and making their own renderers and rasterizers, and I don't know. So yeah, tech art is such a big subject. Oh yeah, I know what you mean, Job. Yeah, it's definitely very hard, exactly because of that, because there's no one clear path for getting into tech art, because one tech artist is not going to be the same as another tech artist. I mean, that can be said for almost everything, every role. But you can assume that, you know, if you get like one environment artist and another environment artist, they will more or less have the same skill set, or at least the same skill set that is required from them for their work. right? But with tech artists, you can't really say that. I mean, a tech artist just morphs their skill set to the needs of the studio and the project. So it's kind of tough to say that, you know, it's kind of tough to find like a clear way of getting into tech art, because, you know, you can find tutorials on 3D modeling and 3D environments and stuff like that, but not into tech art. You can find tutorials on shaders, on VFX, but not on tech art. Hey Eury, and yeah, exactly. The role isn't standardized, and I don't think it can be standardized. Like the whole purpose of a tech artist is to basically smoothen the art workflow, right? And they provide artistic and technical solutions for both artists and coders to make sure that, you know, this happens. So yeah, that could mean anything. That could mean like an editor tool for naming conventions, or shaders, or VFX, or rigging, or anything. Found them doing environment art props and just a couple of shaders tools now and then. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, in some context, yeah, I guess that could also make you a tech artist, Autumn. But like, for example, I'm not that good at making environment art and props. I mean, I can do some basic stuff, but, you know, I don't have a strong 3D background. But yeah. Wholly unqualified to work the same role in another studio. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they ask for technical artists at Naughty Dog, I wouldn't be qualified for that. Yeah, so it's pretty much this. Tech art is basically an umbrella term for anything that operates between the realms of technical and artistic. So yeah. But the cool thing is that our role is also, like, part of the job is to learn as much as you can for any discipline. Like one day literally, like one day at work, I learned how the burst compiler works, and like the job system with burst. And another day I could be doing stuff in Blender all day and learning, you know, more stuff about 3D that way. So it's literally part of the job to like expand your skill set and knowledge set, and then you go on to something else and something better, and then you learn even more stuff. So that's exciting. But I mean, if you have the energy and mental capacity for that. You're not wrong, Kim. Yeah, because yeah, in smaller studios, I guess you also have to find more creative solutions, I guess, because you don't have the budget to cover like the artistic and the aesthetic side with like actual expensive models and detailed stuff and all that. So, which is also part of why indie games are more stylized and more artistic, which I prefer, by the way, from the big budget realistic AAA stuff. But on the other hand, like, yeah, okay, in AAA, a tech artist might have to maybe have to work on something more specific, but in more in depth. Like you would have to make, I don't know, PBR shaders, but it would have to be like really good PBR shaders. Alright, so I think I will start with making something, well, first off a new scene. Not even sure what I'm going to name this. I guess Valorant-inspired or inspired VFX, I don't know. Alright. The difference between tech art and graphic programmer are not super clear. Yeah, you can assume that tech artists might do some graphics programming, not necessarily though, but they can also do other stuff as well, like tools programming. And I mean, a graphics programmer, you know, will be more focused on engine stuff and rendering stuff and, you know, behind the scenes and more in-depth background stuff, which might also fall under the responsibility of a tech artist. But depending again on the studio and on the project and all that, it might also not. Like for example, in my studio at Jumpship, we have 2 more programmers that are more focused on the graphics side, and one is like really background stuff on with debugging and with like, you know, sort of graphics debugging and all that stuff. And yeah, another programmer is more responsible for like more geometry stuff and geometry generation and all that. But like my role comes a bit above that on a higher level, that is, in the sense that I use the stuff from graphics programmers and apply maybe a bit of artistic flair on them, or just make them easier for artists to use, stuff like that. Yeah, I've seen that video by Riot. That's actually pretty good in explaining that. Yeah, exactly. Tech artists also tend to be more artistic and more creative. So yeah. Oh, sorry to hear that, Autumn. Thank you, and yeah, have a nice rest of the day, and take it easy. Alright, so first thing that I want to do for this is going to be something super controversial, and I know today is already like a big day for controversial thoughts and stuff, like the Batman thing. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna do something that VFX artists are not going to like, which is this. I'm going to work without bloom, because I have found that I get more control and like better, I don't know, better coherency on my effects lately without bloom, without like being just, you know, if something doesn't look good, I just crank up the emissive and then let bloom take care of it. I know, I mean, I should probably have like my VFX license taken away right now. Yeah, so again, not quite sure what this is going to be, but you know what, let's make some sort of like explosion thing, I don't know. But you know what, I'm gonna start with like charging and trails and like some sort of glowing orb, I don't know. So yeah, I actually want to first Yeah, make some trails. I'm gonna make some trails. Yeah, orb. We also have like orbs in the chat, like the points on the Twitch stream. They're called orbs. So, okay. This is gonna be like centered. It's going to be like a sphere. And they will not have a renderer for the particles themselves. They're just gonna have like some for the trails. Yes. Okay, this is already perfect, so I think I can call this stream finished now. Oh my god, my eyes. Wow, you can really see how the magenta is showing up on my face. I have a bright monitor. So yeah, I am actually not even going to use a custom material or a custom shader for the trails. It's just going to use the default line. Okay, I'm gonna reduce that size though, and lifetime is definitely going to be something much smaller, like 0.5 to 1. I'm also wondering if I am able to stream in 1080p. Supposedly, like, let me find it. Yeah, every time, you see this, every time I set this to be like 1080, or at least I think that's what should be, that's what I should be changing, but every time it changes back to 720, and I know that's annoying. I have to look into that, I guess. I mean, by the way, now the stream is actually yeah, 720 at least, so there's that, because before that it was like 648p or something, which is weird. Alright, so also want to really drop down that minimum vertex distance. And now we can start doing cool things. So first off, no speed here. I will add though some orbital velocity. So this looks like this. Radius thickness is going to be like 0, so that the particles actually emit from the cell of the sphere instead of like the center of it. And I'm actually going to make this a random thing, so going from -10 to 10, and I'm gonna do this on null. I want some chaos going on here. There we go. I have also started studying the ways of the gradient. Like before, in most of my VFX I tried to like avoid gradients like the plague, and I mean, you shouldn't. Like, gradients are fine. So this is actually going to be like this. And color over lifetime, no, color over trail is going to be a gradient, and looking good. I can also make them fade out over time. Yeah, see, like this is clean. Like before that I would maybe scale it down. I don't know, I don't like that anymore. And now I can actually like give some interesting colors. I might actually have to use a different material on them, mostly because I want like a bit of HDR color. That's alpha blended pre-multiply. Okay, so let's Valorant inspired whatever. I'm gonna call it Trails 1. Interesting. So the default unlit particles one is probably going to be fine for this. If it's set to fade. Yeah, set it to fade. And I can like add a little bit of glow here. And I can also play around with the colors so they're not just like the one orange color. I can give them more colors. I usually go with fixed here so that they don't blend, that just I have a set of discrete colors going around. More black trails. I mean, I guess. You know what? I'm gonna go for a color like this. That's a nice color. Again, no idea what the concept for this is, just playing around. But this is nice. This is nice and clean. I like this. All right. So I don't actually want them to go around aimlessly. I want them to like go towards the center. So there's a cool easy way to do that is by using the radial thing on the velocity over lifetime and making it something negative. So now they all diverge towards the center. And the smaller it is, like, yeah, the lower I go, the faster the trails will converge towards the center. But I can actually just make this a curve as well and make them like go not always towards the center, but like, you know, they travel around and then at some point they decide that they should converge towards the center. You cannot see what I'm doing. I'm changing the curves here. So you see they're all going towards the center. And yeah, trying to find some cool rhythm to it so that they, you know, maybe just swirl around idly and then they do like a faster inwards thing. There's actually maybe a better way to do that, but also I want to throw in some noise. Yeah. I mean, you can see that the more I increase the frequency, the jaggier the trails get, which I don't want. I actually want like maybe, you know, larger movements, so smaller frequency is preferred. Okay, I may have exaggerated that a bit. Alright. By the way, anybody watched E3 stuff these days? Anybody had anything in particular they enjoyed? Hey, Death on Time, you're right on time. I mean, it's right in the name. Oh, you didn't? Yeah, I never ever like played anything Halo related, so yeah, sure about that. Increasing the size can make them look more cartoony, which is cool. I mean, I can make it a bit random, I guess. Not so much. Should it be like, maybe it should be, oh, that's cool. I like that. Nothing stood out. Yeah, Planet of Lana seems amazing indeed. Yeah, Somerville does look very interesting. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, 12 minutes. I had seen 12 minutes before. It really does look interesting. Oh, sure thing, Death on Time. I mean, yeah, it's mostly because I wouldn't know what to do on the other project that I usually work on the streams. So I thought that, you know, maybe some chill VFX making might be interesting. Why yes, Lady Rose, Somerville does look very interesting. I'm saying it like that because I worked on it. That's the project we do at work. And I'm really excited that we got to saw it at E3. Like, the trailer looks amazing. Well, thank you. I didn't want to force anybody to talk about Somerville, by the way, but yeah. You know what? I like this. I I think I like this. Yeah, I did a bunch of stuff for this, yeah. Like, I mostly do shader work and some tools and all that. So yeah, yeah, I did a lot of the shader work in there technically, but like the whole thing shines through the amazing artists we have. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, the artists would just like post screenshots of their levels on the Slack, and I was like, why are they posting concept art? And they were not. It's just that, you know, everything was looking exactly like the concept. It was so amazing. Okay, you know what? Maybe not like this. Not sure if it's entirely NDA, but you know, just to be certain, I probably won't say more about that. I mean, hopefully at some point we will share a bunch of stuff around the process and the development of the thing. But yeah, for now, I guess it's pretty early, so not gonna say more. It should keep like an identity. So the theme is gonna be like this kind of green, which is almost like the green on my avatar, and black. So yeah, that's the theme. Yeah, they have a credit block on the trailer. I thought that was really a neat idea. And yeah, seeing my name there is incredible. Maybe more of these. Hey Dane! Oh, thanks. It's nothing yet, just playing around. Okay, so this is going towards the center, so that should converge into an orb. So I'm gonna call them trails and gonna add like a... I will also add like a glow to it. So effects, particle system, glow. Some glow is always appreciated. Glow. Oh, truth is I haven't used it yet. I have it bookmarked, but the thing is I'm usually too lazy to import like new tools and stuff like that, which is not a great trait of mine, to be honest. But at some point I will definitely like make use of it, for sure. gonna be good, I think. And no shape, it's just one of it with no speed, and largest size. Can I put it on top? Yeah. So yeah, I recently, I mean, those stuff are probably obvious to proper VFX artists, but I recently also started getting more into how colors work, and I've been getting better results by overlaying like additive elements on top of other elements instead of trying to like do it all in one. And yeah. Hey Resin! Yeah, exactly. Then that's what I end up doing. So you know, so then I just don't bother adding the tool because I know that I will be doing that. Hey mates! Yeah, layers. Who knew that they could actually be useful, right? You know what? Just the other way. Yeah. Packed channel textures with multiple color adds and multiplies. Yeah, that's a probably a really good approach. And I mean, at the end of the day, I should also like pack my textures too. But because I constantly like try out new textures and new approaches and play around with scales and speeds and all that, I end up never packing my textures. There was this thing, it was made by one Unity developer, like in Unity. I'm not sure if it was officially added or if it's on GitHub sitting somewhere, but he actually made something really cool. It was basically a texture format, like a texture file in the project, which you could plug into any like texture 2D input, so that included like materials and whatnot. And you could dynamically add different textures for each channel. So basically, yeah, it was a texture 2D format file that you could add separate channels and change them and their scales and all that, and you could just plug this anywhere, and that was good. Is that it? Oh no, it wasn't that. I mean, that's just like a tool in Unity to make to pack channels like that. I also have made something like that, but the thing is that the one I'm talking about doesn't actually produce a new like PNG or something. It's an asset in your project, and you can dynamically like swap textures without having to generate it again and again. It's like, imagine if it was like a scriptable object technically, and you know, you had your input textures on it, and you could drag that scriptable object to be a texture technically. Having a game object for every subparticle. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I mean, it makes sense in the whole workflow, and it's sometimes useful to enable and disable some and all that stuff. But yeah. Is that? Yeah, yeah, of course. Fine, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly the one. Thanks, Raisin. Could you have all the strips share a screen space texture or clip space or whatever? So this crazy part will should be working like a screen space mask. Well, you could have the strips have a screen space texture. Like for example, I have support for screen space things here. So like I could add, I don't know, something like this. So yeah, you can see that this texture is in like screen space. You can see it in the view mostly. So you could have like a screen space thing, but I'm not sure what you mean with the crazy. If it could work like a screen space mask. But you could also do crazier things and like add a material, a shader to the trails that is a stencil mask. And you know, as they swirl and move around, you could see through them like objects that otherwise would not be visible. So that could be a cool thing. The texture be shared across all of them, rather than each particle have a texture. Yeah, that. Well, either way, since they share the same material, they have the same texture. And because it's in screen space, there's no like difference in mapping and overlapping and all that. It's, you know, the same texture in screen space. And yeah, exactly, they operate like a mask. You need to render it to a texture, then apply the texture to a quad map to attach the camera. For what are you talking about, corn dog? Have the template folder of materials you import. Almost integrity. I have a package, actually, a local package on my. I have a package project called VFX Essentials, and I have a bunch of noise textures and some shaders, like just a master shader and some grab bus distortion, some models that are used a lot for VFX, so like some spheres, some rounded cups, discs, any kind of model that are used for VFX. And yeah, just bring that over, and you know, it's cool because I can, if I want to add more stuff, I just add them to the package, and then everything that uses the package gets updated. So it's cool. Oh, no worries, Dane. Okay, now I want to make a sphere. I want to make a cool looking sphere. So, I'm not... You know what? There's not going to be any gameplay coherency to the effect. I just want it to be looking cool. I don't know how it could be used in a gameplay context. Like, I was thinking that, you know, this could be like for when... like in Valorant, they have this kind of effects are like grenades, right? So it could look like this as it's charging. So you know, it's doing this and then it's in your hand, like Yeah, and then you throw it and, you know, stuff happens. I don't know. I'm just making sparks. So I'm gonna make an orb. Just like orb. Damn, I spent 100 orbs for this. Yeah. Okay, I don't really need the trails to be showing, so I'll just their position, I guess. Orb. On the bottom of the... Yeah, there you go. On the bottom of the Twitch chat, you should see some like a round orbs on the bottom left corner, and you can click that and it has some options as to how to spend them, which are the default options because I'm not very well versed in the whole Twitch stream thing. I think that this orb in particular could be smaller. There you go. Okay, I want to try and make it look like this. Let me just playback speed. There we go. But like larger. So there are some elements like on the sphere itself. Let me just make it. I might make it explode too. Why not? So this is interesting in particular. It has like a core. I mean, you can see that there are some traily texture panning around, and there's like a fiery core in the middle, which is just doing like some wobbly. Now this could all be like in it kind of looks as if the texture on top applies some sort of refraction, but I don't think so. Like the movement of the blob in the center on this thing doesn't seem to follow whatever the texture on top is doing. Radial gradient with some overlays, yeah, something like that. And they're also using bloom because they're amateurs. Just kidding, the VFX in Valorant are fantastic. Oh yeah, sorry. It's because it actually doesn't allow me to have more emotes. I think that until I get some threshold or something, I cannot get more emotes. Yeah, those slots things. I don't know how Twitch works. I swear to God. The fire flip book. It probably is. Yeah, you can see that. Wait, you can see that it pops. Now this dissolves, right? And now you can see that it pops again, like with some rotation. Whoa, sorry. Yeah, and it pops again, and yeah. They're probably flipbooks, yeah, that's also why they have the more choppy animation, which I'm going to fake with the step time on my VFX master shader. So yeah. Yeah, it needs sub points. I really don't know. I like the streaks they have going on there too. Those are cool. That using a flame energy VFX without using flip or single UV animation. The flame using trail strips. That's interesting. Like, was it some sort of restriction that you could not have like flip books or UV animations? Yes, that time can look pretty cool when it's working. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use 3 spheres. Right? Sorry, let me check. Oh, by the way, this should be back to unlit. But before that, yeah, one is going to have well, not flip normals, but like it will cull like the front faces. Alright. Okay, first off, I'm gonna try and make like the outer area of the orb. So, orb outer, I guess. This is gonna use this. So the flames will adapt to whatever object under them. Oh, oh, I see. They would respond. Now that's tricky. Oh, thanks for the follow, Cryburb. Your name's kind of a mood. So I will be using. Oh yeah, this is my noise library. Probably this is gonna look good. I'm gonna make it transparent, so there's that. So now I can just play with the softness here. Now this cuts away too much, so I can play around with the contrast of my texture. Oh yeah, I remember that. The anime thing. Alright, so now this can move. Yeah. And making it not cull anything kinda looks interesting, but well, it does have the issues with the Z right, but I mean those are inevitable. Either way, I'm gonna have inner elements too, so they're not gonna be so visible. Stop moving for a bit. Thank you. Well, yeah, it's a master shader, and yeah, at some point I should probably make an editor, a custom editor for it, because I mean you can see that it's a bit messy. But also this is like the second iteration of my VFX master shader. The first one I actually shared in a 3-part tutorial on my blog. And I think at some point I will make a new one. It has a bunch of options. So updated recently. I don't think I've updated it recently. No. I think mostly because I use it everywhere, and I'm afraid that if I update it, a bunch of things will break. But it has most of the things I want already. So one cool thing is that it has also some sort of lighting, which it's cool for like stylized 3D smoke kind of effects. It has some masks here and there, so yeah. Oh, you can make a custom shader editor actually, and have like drawers and drop downs and all that stuff, and optional properties based on, I don't know, shader features. Different scribble objects so they can be copied. Yeah, that's smart too. Yeah, it does have like this palette, right? It is a bit Sea of Thievesy. Yeah, I actually got quite excited about the whole Jack Sparrow thing. I mean, not that I'm a big fan of like the movies or Disney or anything like that, but like the content that they seem to add in Sea of Thieves was just like amazing. Like the enemies and the areas and the battles, like with the Flying Dutchman and all that, like I actually cannot wait for all that. Some more noise. Whirly noise is usually the best noise. Oh yeah, that's true with the Tribeca. Yeah, that's true. Also, yeah, that's looking interesting. Isn't the Sable demo only for like Xbox One, the Xbox Series S and X? I think it was only for that. Is it out for like PC and stuff? VFX discover real time. Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy to get like. I mean, I cannot imagine. Oh, is it on the Microsoft Store? Ooh, okay. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Oh, well, now Mitch, you got my attention. Hold on, I want to see that. Uh, 45 seconds. Wait, at which part? Oh, by the way, I saw the thing with like diving into the ground, and I thought that the poor QA engineers, like, I cannot even imagine how hard it was testing that stuff, because knowing, you know, Nintendo and Breath of the Wild, you know, they will allow you to do that like everywhere, and probably will not restrict you over that. And yeah, I felt bad for it, for the people that had to make that and test that. 48. Wait, why I cannot find any water? You're talking about like this trailer, right? Is there any water somewhere that I'm missing? Oh yeah, that one. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that does look like it's a mess. Yeah, I saw that and yeah, I thought that it was a mess. Come on. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I mean, it's probably like, I think it's actually skinned. Like, can you see that these the areas connected to the droplets, it's like thin and then it gets thicker, but it's not like it's not acting like metaballs or anything like that. It's as if it's, well, getting actually thicker. So it might actually be skinned or and using bones. So they're scaling like bones down here and then up, because you can, I think you can see that there's like a thin line here. I think they cheated. It doesn't. I think it's like one mess, because I mean you can see that it's jagged and all that. Like here, you can see that there are polygons there. If that was volumetric, it would be much smoother. Cube marching cubes, potentially, but I think that, you know, when you see it here, I think that the thin line that connects this to this is like scaled to 0, and you can still see like some pixels of it. So I think it's a bone that gets scaled up. And the whole thing looks to be like scaling down on the Y. This looks ugly, by the way, like that. It shrinks like that. And yeah, now it's just like scaling down. And yeah, the exact frame where it scales down more, and then this drop appears and goes up and all that. Yeah, see what I told you about not being able to enjoy games anymore? I'm going to add like a core inside or something. Core. Also, does this have... No, it doesn't. Houdini pipeline still isn't quite there unless it's completely integrated in your game design. Not sure what you mean. I mean, from what I've seen, Houdini can be like really amazing for Unity and tools and all that. Like, I don't know if you've seen Populous Run. Oh, thanks for the follow, Low Polysaurus. Populous Run. It's this one, I think. Yeah, you have probably seen like gifs of it on Twitter, where one of the main developers, or I don't know if it's like the one developer, like everything here is like with Houdini. Like the levels, the models, where the checkpoints are like procedurally placed, and the randomization on the character models, like everything is Houdini. I mean, it's in Unity, but it's using like a bunch of Houdini tools. An amazing feat of how Houdini can be awesome for games. Oh yeah, is that the one? Yeah, I also saw there is some kind of tool being developed to allow Blender to work like the Houdini tools for Unity, and it had actually integration, so you could like change modifiers the same way they work in Blender, and you could change like back and forth, and they could change between Unity and Blender, and that was like awesome, because having this kind of modular workflow that Blender has. Well, it's really awesome. Alright, so I actually want this to maybe like have some sort of displacement. Wrong displacement, like vertex displacement. That's what I wanted. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly see how it looks with bloom. Yeah, you know what? No, I don't want the core. I don't need it. Remove the bloom again. Okay, and blow. It's gonna be additive. So it right off, thank you. Okay, so this is something annoying. By the way, I can add a bit of Fresnel here. Where is my Fresnel? Fresnel. No! Fresnel, thank you. So now I can have like a glow sphere around everything here. But the thing is that it's not being added on top, and that has to do with the sorting. There are two ways I could go about this. I'm not sure which is the best one at the moment. One way would be to actually make these particles, which would potentially give me some control over how they are animated afterwards. So there's that. Yeah, I'm gonna make them particles. It's okay. So particles, orb, and no shape. Emission is gonna be 0.2 with 1 lifetime and 0 speed. And so while it's looping, that means, and pre-warm, thank you. So, what? Okay. Oh, right, okay, lifetime of 5. So yeah, every 5 seconds it's gonna die. And another one is being again made without clipping or any weirdness, so that's good. And this is gonna be a sphere. It's gonna have the orb outer first. It could be local for all I care. Yeah. And I'm gonna do the inner one. This is something annoying. What's going on? Okay, thank you. Alright, thank you. This is getting the orb inner. Alright, looking good. Orb below. So now this I can actually increase the sorting order. Yeah, so now it affects the whole thing. Fresnel, I should probably like, yeah, make it like that. Playing around with the colors right now. I'm not sure if I want to deviate from the palette for something like for some visual flair or not. Like, it's cool how you can get like some glow easily, like just like that, and have some nice colors out of nowhere. So yeah, I can actually maybe spawn even more. Interesting. Apparently I don't have color grading, which is cool. An orb with a Fresnel mask. Yeah, exactly. It's just like a yeah. If I show only this, it's yeah, just a sphere, and it has one of the masks I have on the VFX is a Fresnel mask. So yeah, it's just an additive Fresnel mask on a sphere. Yeah, you can see when you get like too many additive colors and like they're too colorful and all that, you get, well, the colors get blown out basically. So you can see that that happens here in the center. Here is where color grading helps a lot. Like it, well, it brings all the stuff down. And yeah, this can look cool. But right now I just noticed that I don't like this being having that large scale. I do prefer the larger shapes. gonna add a pointier texture here. Oh, of course. Give me 1 second, I will be right back. Every time. Okay, yeah, but benefit from making the orb glow through the particle system rather than a mesh object. Yeah, so I don't know if you missed that, but one problem I had before when it wasn't the particle system is that it wasn't being applied on top, and that's because the sorting order was off, like it was 0. So now you can see that it affects like stuff behind. But it didn't affect like the rest of the stuff. So one solution would be to actually make a quick script that I can change the sorting order of the meshes in editor. But I ended up doing it with particles because I might end up also animating that along with the rest of the particle systems. A reason you would use a Fresnel sphere over a quad with a blurry circle. Yeah, because the quad with the blurry circle, I mean, it could be rendered on top, right? I think the main reason for this is that because it's at the center of the circle, it doesn't encapsulate the rest of the elements. So using a sphere like that helps with that, if that makes sense. Okay, I think the radius of this should be smaller and the trail should also be like thinner. Maybe even remove some of the lifetime of the trails. I don't know, either way, not gonna use color grading and bloom now. Just wanna try and keep it as clean as I can. Yeah, the glows should be smaller. Alright. And also, because I'm using now particle systems, I can instead use the colors from the vertex colors of the particles instead of changing the materials, so that's also good for like reusability. Downgrade to 2019, why? I mean, I think that's 2020.3 is okay. I think it's like the best stable version right now, I think. Well, I mean, I'm working on 2020.2 here, so... Oh, do you? That's interesting. Have you tried upgrading to 2021? Wait, is that out? 2021.1? It's out, right? Yeah, 2021.1 is out, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a real leap of faith to go onto the newer versions if they're not LTS. Oh. That hurt. It had some rough patches, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I know, right? Yeah, and you know, time flies. Like, I can't even believe we're at half of 2020 already. So, no save. Same thing as before. No speed. The clouds from the new update. Haven't seen anything about it. Clouds? Have they talked about clouds? I can't remember that. Do you have any links on that? Alright, so this is gonna have probably the same texture. Where is it? Here, okay. Overhead cloud layer. Oh, what's this now? Oh, just for HDRP, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's something, I guess. Yeah, it's like one of the many things that are being worked in the shadows and then they get released and they barely work. So, polar coordinates, let's go! Circle mask. Not quite. I mean, Oh yeah, polar coordinates are awesome. Yeah, you can take like if you have like a texture like this, hold up, like this, when they're diagonal and you put it in polar coordinates, it basically makes them swirl. So that's always cool. Because otherwise, like if you use like any other like any classic texture, it still looks cool, but it's not. It doesn't have those cool swirls. Making their own engines, and that's really impressive. Wasn't there like a new kind of color space kind of thing? I've seen something like that, but I cannot remember what it was or how it was named. Actually, I think it should be going outwards. That's interesting. So just in case you're wondering, I have two modes for my masks. So basically this is just like two textures in polar coordinates and panning outwards, right? So I have blending modes as to how these two textures are being applied. So the second one is being additively added like on top. That's why it's so intense. Without it, it looks like this, but you know, it's additive. Otherwise, there's the multiplied thing, which is like the Diablo kind of multiplication. So texture A multiplied by texture B multiplied by 2. But yeah, when both of them are too dark, you don't get very far. But you can use I can use add and also play around with the contrast and the actual additive value, like the value of the texture, how much it is added. And then I apply a mask, a circular mask, which is basically a ring, right? So if I remove the cutoff, you can see that I have like inner radius, outer radius, and there is like a smoothness technically. So you know, if it's 0, you get like perfect circles, but as you increase that, you get more smoothness on the mask, which is then blended with the values of the textures. So you get you get better edges instead of them being like really circular. And what I did before is that I actually have two modes for the mask. So this is like multiplicative, like the classic thing, like you could multiply your values with your mask and then you could clip the whole thing, right? But I also have an add sub mode, which basically means that when the mask is white, when it's over 0.5 you add it to the values, and when it's under 0.5 you subtract it. So that when you have like small values of that, why isn't it working right now? Why is it embarrassing me? Okay, yeah. So when you can actually like play around with the power of the mask, right? And when that's like some small value, well, you basically get like just the edges, if that makes sense. Like you basically get the values of the mask. You make sure that they don't get clipped away. I can't find words right now. But yeah, that's the main thing. Right now it doesn't look very different from multiplying though. Yeah, so you can always have like a core that you know that it won't get dissolved that easily. That's maybe even more apparent when you have like gradient masks. So yeah, if it was multiplicative it could be like this, but with an add sub the bottom edge is not gonna get dissolved that easily, at least. Yeah, well, you get the point. And that can also be transparent. Main resource to learn about shaders. Well, about shaders in general, the best place to start, which I always like suggest to everybody, is the book of shaders. Like literally the book of shaders. It's going about like the fundamentals of shaders in GLSL, and so that you know you don't have to worry about any bloat coming from Unity, from like materials and models and all that. It's just like pure shader fun, and even when I actually saw that, when I actually found about the book of shaders, I already knew about shaders, somewhat at least, and then you know the book of shaders, just when I started following it, a bunch of things just clicked in my head. So it's a really good place to start, and really concise and to the point. And for more specific, I mean for Unity shaders for example, I also have a bunch of tutorials, and I have an archive page. There you go. It has all of my tutorials and a bunch of useful links from other creators as well. So yeah, that's probably a good place to start. Color. Let me bring it here to fix the color. Glad to hear that, Resin. By the way, one of the controls I have is just like a power value on the values of the textures. So that's usually coming in handy when I'm using gradient maps, but it's also handy here, so you can see that I can basically change the contrast here, so that's always good. Oh yeah, and Shader Toy has like a Shader Toy is it has a bunch of resources and a bunch of interesting examples. It will scare you. It might also scare away your GPU. Is it me or is it weird that the previews for like Shader Toy shaders have to actually run in like runtime? Like, why couldn't they be like one frame captures of the shader for the preview? So when you're searching for a shader, for example, Shader Toy, you have to go through pages of super expensive shaders. Oh, you can turn that off? Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Yeah, it shouldn't be on by default, for sure. I mean, yeah, even Sketchfab like has when it sees that you can't really support that, the preview, it gives you like some rendered flip, some rendered turntable renders, and that's it. Should I add? Well, I can make it a bit bigger at least, and I can play around with the masks. Maybe. No, I like it smaller. Thanks for the follow, Pachu Pachus. Yeah, and also, yeah, the Shader Toy is also a great resource of imposter syndrome. Like, the things in there are like godlike. I should break the colors apart a bit. Thanks for the follow, Santimodi. There's not enough contrast now with the glow though, that's a thing. Oh, really? That's cool. Yeah, I don't know, I don't have any plan for it. I mean, you can see I'm just doing random stuff. Okay, yeah, that was definitely bothering me and I didn't know it was bothering me. Might want to change the color too. Should just use like a second one of these with like a different scaling. That could be fun. Well, that goes to show you, Kim, that you probably shouldn't leave, because the more you leave, the more amazing this is going to look. Thanks, though. Oh, damn meetings. You know what, I'm gonna add some cartoony sparks as you can see, I mean, it's painfully obvious that I'm going for that Valorant style. And all that without actually trying to draw anything, because that would be a disaster. Alright, let's add some sparks. I need to drop the saturation here. Or, I don't know. Have an idea to enrich this. Duplicate, make it black, rotate like 90, play. Yeah. Yeah, it would take me way more than a year, Mitch. Use an animation curve with step time to have greater control over which parts of the animation has more frames. Well, in general, it is possible. I mean, that's a whole point of like animating on twos. Not sure if you can make Unity's curves do that. I mean, they're curves. You should be able to like make them more like linear or something. I haven't tried it, so yeah, I'm not too well versed into animations in general, so I'm not sure. Oh, this is a nice color, maybe. And I don't want to diverge too much from the palette, to be honest. But I also don't know what I'm doing, so there's that. Okay, sparks. Let's add some sparks. It's gonna be another sphere. Come on, thank you. Smaller radius. Come on, thank you. Way smaller size, like tiny size, not billboards, trails. Lifetime's gonna be very small, like 0.2, 0.3, like so small. Oh, well, thanks, Master of Glory. That's the best compliment I could get. I mean, since I cannot do hand-drawn, trying to do that with noise texture is the next best thing I can. Oh, and thanks, Icarus. Yeah, the trailer does look beautiful, and I was super happy we got to share that. Wait, what are those, and why aren't they working? I'm not even gonna, I won't bother right now, at least. I mean, one day I hope I can make some VFX that could rock the Unity magenta, the broken shader color, and they could do it like proudly and they could look good, but yeah, still far away from that. That represents the animation, that represents the amount of time steps. Yeah, well, there's also a way to, I think, to manually say to the animator when to animate. So I think you could, you know, you could manually place time between the frames so it looks as if it's it has that stepped Spider-Verse kind of thing. Oh, thanks, Master of Glory. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've seen people actually convert shaders of mine in Godot, and I guess to some degree some of them work, but I guess if they are surface shader and more Unity specific, it's probably harder to get them working. Oh, you're talking about timeline and VFX. Yeah, I'm not sure how that could work. Unless it's the VFX graph. I mean, I guess the VFX graph could be powerful enough or something like that, but I haven't worked with it, so yeah, no idea. So these, it's easy to make them sparky. So first off, the width is gonna be a curve. Gonna be like this. Right now they're, you know what? Let me reduce the size a little bit more. All right. And then we can just like go nuts on the noise, like frequency and strength. Yeah, that's already sparky. I can remove the speed. I mean, I don't want that. Size over lifetime could be like this. And it's going well already. Yeah, water shaders. Yeah, I have no idea how the Godot shader system works. To be fair, I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't even opened it. I haven't even worked with Godot even for a little bit. It could be cool to look into it, and the stuff I see coming in Godot 4, those look super exciting. And yeah, the whole engine looks pretty awesome, and it looks like serious competition for Unity. As long as, you know, they don't release any crazy features like scriptable render pipelines or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Okay. They kind of look cool, but they have zero chill right now. Well, I mean, it doesn't help that I have the strength to 5. I like the frequency. In SRP? What do you mean, Icaro? Oh yeah, the selector. Complexity regions. Yeah, well, you know, I've been using Unity since Unity 4, so, you know, I've kinda got into all the new rendering stuff gradually. So I'm still not turned away from it yet. But yeah. Icaros, are you talking about like custom scriptable render pipelines or like URP and stuff like that? Oh, that looks cool. I like how like some of them like get away and it looks as if they're closer to the core. I could also reduce the thickness. Customize URP. Oh damn. I mean, if it suits your needs. Yes, it is HDRP. I don't know if I can say, but whatever. Yeah, it is HDRP. This seems to kind of work. It almost looks hand-drawn, right? That's fun. I'm gonna give them this color. Like this color. And some of them are gonna be black. It's okay. I want the swirls to be a bit brighter. Yeah. Yeah. That looks fun. How good the built-in pipeline documentation was and how bullet for the command buffer interface. Yeah. I know what you mean. You know what? I'm going to make the trails, the sparks, whatever. I ended up not using these, so you know what? Just make a second one. It's okay. Sparks and make it. Step time, yeah, it's part of the master shader. It's let me show it here. That's a bad example. Yeah, here. Otherwise, it would look like this. It's astonishing how big a difference it makes. I mean, when you go from one to the other, you go like from really choppy to really smooth, but after a while you get used to it and it kind of makes sense in context. And for the sparks, I mean, I could not use because you know they're trails. I could not use a step time and all that, so it's just well, the jagged lines from the noise kind of take care of the steppiness for me, of the choppiness. If Unity could release update a lot of related and interconnected projects in bulk. Yeah, well, the whole fragmentation and fracturing of the pipelines and all that is it's really not great. And I am out of water. That sucks. Okay, now I feel though that the trails might be a bit out of place. Now, just out of curiosity, how would that all look with like some bloom and maybe color grading? Yeah, color grading is hot. Would you use a master shader in production because of various processes that have? Well, here's the thing. It doesn't have passes. Strictly speaking, it doesn't have multiple passes. It has multiple shader features. So the thing is that okay, it has a bunch of properties and all that, but if you don't check like the lighting or the screen space texture or vertex offset or the displacement and all that, you don't actually use them. So the code is not being used. It's using shader features and compilation keywords. So that way, you don't end up computing stuff you're not using in most cases. The downside of this is that you end up with like lots and lots of variants, because if you have like X variants, you end up having like 2 to the power of X different. Sorry, yeah, if you have X keywords, you end up having 2 to the power of X variants of your shader. Yeah, maximum keywords, it's exactly. Though this actually in built-in can be overridden if you actually use local keywords instead of like global, but you cannot do that in URP, yeah, or like shader graph, as far as I know again. Multi-compile has less overhead. Yeah, most likely. I haven't used that though, so I'm not the best person to talk about it. Oh, you can get local keywords? Okay, once again, sorry, I'm slandering shader graph and dragging its reputation once again. I have changed my colors, haven't I? God damn it. I moved away from the greens. Static uniform branching doesn't ring any bells. Yeah, I have actually gotten the variants warning. So yeah. Okay, how should this look now? Okay, first off, hierarchy, please, hierarchy. Come on, scaling mode, hierarchy. Okay. Oh no. What have I done? Oh, I get that. Okay, it's fixed. A little bit of green in this. Yeah, it changes how you view the entire effect, yeah. Sound designer made some sweet sounds first. Oh, that's good. It's always so great when you see like your VFX with sound. So yeah. And use multi-compile instead of shader feature because whenever the shader feature does not seem to work. But so far I haven't had any issues with that. Oh hey Adam, welcome. Just making some random VFX. Like I started, they're mostly inspired by Riot's Valorant. So yeah, just making like stylized VFX just for fun. Oh yeah, what's the deal with the enum thing for the floats inside their graph? I think I haven't asked that before because I needed to expose like a custom enumerator and I just could not. When you, as far as I've seen, when you take like the enum for a float inside your graph, it just adds this in front of the property, but I'm not sure if you have like an interface to actually populate the enumeration options. Yeah, and you know, if you want to like have a few custom options in your enum, well, yeah, just you know, get the generated code from the shader graph and shove it in there, and if you want to make changes, good luck. Yeah, like there is the enum keywords and it has an interface which works. Like it has the reorderable list and you can assign like names to values. Like why couldn't you use that, like the same GUI thing? It's too late for me to rant about shader graph. Oh, that's very Sea of Thievesy. Oh, that's very Sea of Thievesy. Oh, I like this. That's fun. Colors are still a bit messed up though, but I think I can live with this, kinda. Also, I'm not sure if like the smooth trails with the gradient now look good with the choppy, stylized sparks and all that. Filter property drawer string before a property. Yes, like anything, just any of the existing flexibility that coded shaders had, like give some of it, please. Hey Tour, just making some VFX, some stylized random VFX. No, not anything in particular. Just VFX and ranting about shader graph again. You know also what kinda another thing that really annoys me with URPs and shader graph and all that is that because the built-in pipeline is almost going to be deprecated or just be called legacy or something, nothing on the roadmap and nothing on the new versions is actually addressing, or not addressing, but like adding features to the existing render pipeline, the built-in render pipeline. So, you know, we don't get better rendering or, I don't know, better looking shaders or faster stuff, I don't know. But, you know, I don't see anything for the built-in render pipeline, anything new. And I mean, do you remember if you were using Unity before Unity 4, how exciting it was to see like the PBR render pipeline of Unity 5, where they had like this demo with like the super cool cloth and the metallic and all that. Custom have added in the Unity alpha version. Yeah, no, right? Like, I've started to believe that like 80% of the shader graph features actually do not exist, and like Cyan makes them up or just like hacks the engine underneath, because there's no way that almost none of the stuff that Cyan has shared have been well documented. Or I don't know, I just haven't found them, I don't know. But it's crazy. Oh, and one more thing. Okay, I'm gonna rant about one more shader graph thing. Okay, in HDRP, when you make a material with any existing shader or with a custom shader, you get like this little drop down on the top, which allows you to dynamically make your material like double-sided, or enable alpha clipping, which by the way you can enable it in the shader, but you also have to enable it in the material. Anyway, let's leave it aside. But you have like this neat little drop down with that stuff, the Z test, the alpha clipping, the double-sided and all that. But if you want to make a custom shader GUI for your shader, then this drop down disappears. And please correct me if I'm wrong, and please like send any links and any documentation on that if there is any. But when you make a custom shader GUI because you have like a monster of a shader and you want to like somehow organize your shader, you lose that stuff about like double-sided and all that. And then if you want, for example, your custom shader to have alpha clipping, because you also need to enable it from the material, and enabling it just from the shader is not enough, if you have a custom shader GUI, well, get fucked. Yeah, but the thing is that they are not exposed somehow. Like I haven't found where like what to enable as a keyword or as a I don't know, a property or whatever for the alpha clip. And I had this same issue with a stencil for not stencil. Stencil? Yeah, with the stencils. Yeah, with the HDRP stencils. Sorry, no. Yeah, not stencil, decals. Thanks for the follow, Miso57. You're not seeing me at my best right now. I had the same thing with decals, right? you can enable the decals, whatever, right from the shader. And I actually, saw the generated code and saw that there is a property which is like enable. It's just called enable decals, something like that. And if I set this from a script in a custom shader, it doesn't work. If I set the same exact property in the HDRP lit or like any other built-in shader and like the exact same keyword, it works. Okay, rant over. Yeah, but the thing is that those are not exposed. I have no idea which they are, and there's no documentation. So again, get fucked. Oh, what do you mean, me? So like these files, they're organized. Alright, it's time to bring in the timeline. Alright, so yeah, timeline is actually really cool for VFX, especially if you also have animations and you want to time like VFX to your animations, or at least to see how they look. Right, because you probably won't be using the timeline in gameplay. Or I mean, you could. But yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, I have read the mess of the generated code and I could not find them. Just... it's like they're going out of their way to get on my nerves. Oh, well then if you mean just with particles, it's like super easy and very intuitive. So usually what I do is, well, I have an empty object, an empty game object with a playable director for the timeline, and just put anything I want to animate under it. And then you just use a control track. And if you use a control track and like drag any particle system in there, it basically says, hey, play this particle system, and it reacts to the scrub of the timeline, and you know, just works. And yeah, so if I get like the orb now because you know it's not at the start of the timeline, it's later on. It spawns wherever you go with the timeline. Yeah, and the cool thing is that if you also have like an animation, so you know, if that was like, for example, a sword slashing VFX or something like that, so you would have like your animation, your player, your character, whatever, animating. You would just go here and make an animation track and drag in like the animator of your character, and drag in the animation file from here, from like right from the project, and it basically says, you know, ignoring everything that the animator does in terms of like transitions and all that, it says that, you know, hey, this animator will play this animation. That's it. And it will create a block that is the exact length of the animation. And yeah, you can just time stuff around. Like right now you can see that these blocks are like 5 seconds long because the root particle system has a duration of 5. So if I actually set this to be, because I just have the trails which have like a, and the glow has a lifetime of 0.5 and the maximum lifetime I have is 0.6, so I can just make this be 0.6. And if I go back to the timeline and I move it around because it takes a bit to update, you can see now that what it says here, it says it plays once and then again. L1, L2 is loop. So, and that's because I have set this particle system is looping. If I remove that and go back to the timeline, you will see that instead of L1, like loop 1, 2, 3 and whatever, it has hold, which basically means, you know, like stop. So I don't need to have like this whole duration be hold. I can just like trim it. So yeah. How short of a loop can you make the effect, excluding the trails, to make it loop? So you mean like just the orb? How short of a loop? Not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. Alright, so I can start, I can make like a small animation for this thing so that it appears a bit, doesn't just like pops in. Yeah, that was a thing I also did like when I started with VFX. I, you know, didn't know about how powerful the shuriken system was, so I tried to do stuff with like custom animators and custom twinning tools, and yeah, no, the shuriken particle system is like super powerful. Probably gonna do the same here as well. I mean, I can just, they all have the same duration, so I might as well like copy a bunch. Yeah, size over life, I'm sure, why not? The swirls, I can actually make them come in with dissolve, since they use the master VFX shader. So I can go here. Okay, this is getting off screen, but I'm selecting the custom 1XYZ here, which I use in the custom data for dissolving. Yeah, Miss, of course I'm tired. It's like almost 12 a.m. here. And now I can have this like dissolve in like real quick. And I can do the same on this one as well. Curve, paste, custom vertex trim, custom XYZ. Yeah, and they come in. Now the whole thing is coming in smoothly, or at least more smoothly than before. And the sparks, I don't care. Okay, let's see how that looks. Definitely needs some sort of impact. Oh yeah, its colliders were things I think years ago, right? I don't think it's a new thing. It does need like some sort of something more impactful when the orb appears. Alright, Misha, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, it is overshooting, yeah. And I actually tried a little bit to do that, but because it's hard to get, like it does that a little bit, but it's hard to get the handles because they go outside the window. Oh yeah, you cannot see that. But like the handle was there, so you know I can't get it now. That's an annoying thing. The value on the left axis. Yeah, but it doesn't. It's just the size. It doesn't give me more freedom over how to control the handles. But if I add actually another one, then I can grab the. Since they're connected, I can grab the bottom one, so it's okay. The thing is that I should use the same exact one here as well. You can control each handle individually. Yeah, well, either way, I don't want to control them individually, because I want, you know, to overshoot and then, like, retract a little bit and then go back to what it should look like. So this is looking good. Shouldn't recover so slow. I like the intense scaling up though, because you know it matches the cartoony look a little bit, I feel. I mean, how does that all look now? Another small tip is that, I mean, your instinct would say that, you know, well, that's pretty obvious again, but your instinct would say that, you know, you want the orb to appear when the trails end, but you obviously want the animation to start even sooner than that. How smooth the scale up looks compared to everything step time. Yeah, no, that's why I'm trying to also do it like fast, so it's not that visible. Okay, maybe the scale up is a bit excessive. This won't look good, I think. Also, I can bring the camera closer. Not sure where to put this. I mean, it's 4x3, so this is inconvenient. Anyway. I mean, I could scale it up. Oh, the trails have the wrong color again. Should be more green. Yeah, the smoothness is a bit jarring here, to be honest. Oh, hey Jade! Thanks for dropping by! Going alright, just doing some random VFX, just no plan, just messing around. You know what, I want to do something to cover up the scaling a little bit. Maybe some like glow streaks, something like that. Oh, thanks. So how would that look like though? I mean, they could be like trails, just like big trails. Oh, and thanks for the follow, Jade. That's so nice. Trails. Yeah. And very annoying. Yeah. Well, if yeah, no, I'm not sure why this is happening. It's so annoying, but it's still more usable than the cascade curves in Unreal Engine, at least from what I've seen. I could not use those things. Like I couldn't even like move nodes or something. It was so annoying. So like streaks, I guess. So circle. Oh, actually, you know what? It's going to be like a separate system. Create the curve in the non-shuriken curve, and then save it as a preset. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Wait, what? No, thank you. And just line. Or you know what? Just use the trail thing. Trails too. Yeah, it's glowy. Zero radius though. And you know what? Can I? Oh, the other way around. Yeah, but I don't want it to be completely. I want it to be like this. Yeah, Jade. Well, I mean, it's almost been 3 hours since I started the stream, so it's not like it was super fast. But yeah, I mean, it's not complex or anything, and I had the shaders and textures ready, so the most time-consuming thing is like moving the sliders until you get something that looks cool. Oh, I actually want the other way around. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And I actually want them to be like have a quite a big size, and then they yeah, they linearly go not to 0 but like there or something. Would be cool if they were additive though. So let's make this additive. No, the other way around. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't expect that I will get it right or looking good right out of the bat. Whoa. Okay. So, yeah, going like this, much smaller lifetime. And definitely limit the velocity and color of the light. Yeah, make it just transparent too. should be faster. And should leave less. I think that's good. It could be brighter. Yeah, no. Actually, I do like the swirling. Like not so much swirling, but like a little bit of swirling as a treat. Yeah. No idea if this is gonna look better or worse, but whatever. You know, make it order in layer like above everything. Don't make it loop. 0.5 duration, and back to the timeline. Oh, it doesn't work like that. Okay, control track. And streaks. Not looking bad. It's not in front of the... No, is it? No, it's not. Why is it not in front? Is it because the trails? That's annoying. I mean, I could just make them artificially on the front. Yikes. No, additive works. No lighting. Soft, of course, doesn't work. Stencil screen space. Yeah, sorting order can be so annoying. Especially when you have like transparent things, and yeah, like it's okay if you only have like planes, but as long as you get like spheres or stuff like that, yeah, things are gonna be annoying. Yeah, this animation, I'm not sure if it's good or not. Oh, a raid! Hey, Incarnate! How is it going? Thanks so much for the raid, man. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I'm doing some random VFX. Just was in a VFX mood today. Oh, thanks. I'm still not loving it, but it's a work in progress. I do like these tricks though, and I want to also use them like as idle effects on the orb. So, you know what? I'm gonna do just that. Not with a mission though. No, like not with a burst, but like looping this. Alright, well, I mean, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. I mean, at some point I should probably like eat. Oh yeah, I think these work nicely. I can make them thinner. Yeah, I gotta have foods. I had a good lunch, I guess, but yeah, and it's pretty late either way. But like, I should get a snack at some point. So yeah, I mean, either way, I'm not. There's so much slider fiddling to be done here, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna do all of that in this one stream. I might work on it on some like off time or something. Thanks for the follow with the bar guest. They're too regular. I don't like it. Could I make it like? No, it's not that. It's the speed, I think. Something doesn't feel good. The streaks, you just have to have some spinning or circular. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna do. I mean, they already have some, but I'm gonna add some more. Though, because they are thick, they cannot afford to like have too much of a circular movement because, well, they will get messed up. I mean, I could have like some randomness going like that, like even more extreme maybe. Linear movement outward from the center. Well, they have the outward from the center if that's what you're talking about. Oh, also since it has this animation, the looping does not make sense. I mean, this actually doesn't have to be a rate over time now. They can actually be just like a burst of like one. So yeah, actually I think the glow was 2. Yeah. I don't like the regularity of the trails though. You know what? I'm gonna make them looping again. This is annoying. Wrong thing? Okay. Maybe trails. Yeah, maybe the ratio can help. Like have way more, but not all of them spawn. Well, the rectangular shape I like I like the bold, like cartoony shape. The spawning regularity I don't love. I would more likely prefer, like, you know, burst here, burst there, and something like that. So could I instead like do indeed like burst, but make it looping with so kind of like that, but also with some rate over time, so there are some regulars. I don't know if I like this. No, it was better before. What's the step time? Well, the step time either way is not like the same everywhere, so yeah, that's a mess in that regard. Also, I want to see, yeah, this one here actually had, yeah, it has these streaks. Though, obviously they are not trails, they are probably like particles being scaled up and down, and yeah, and fading in and out. So maybe what I don't like is the fact that it has like this movement. So maybe if they were like, you know, appearing in and out, maybe that would be better. So I'm gonna try that, and then I'm probably gonna close the stream off because food. So okay, I'm not deleting this or changing it, just gonna add more. Now without it you can see how, I don't know, it looks much more plain. So yeah, no, I definitely liked how it was with the extra elements. So yeah, this is gonna be like streaks 1, I guess. No shape, and yeah, some emission, I guess, but no speed. And the streak is gonna be pretty straightforward. This is one of the reasons I love the VFX Master Shader, is because like I want to do something really simple right now, right? I want a gradient on a texture. So, you know, if I didn't have this shader, I would have to like open up Photoshop and then make a gradient, which is like, okay, 2 seconds, but export this and then have an image which is just a gradient. It's just a big annoying mess, and nobody wants that. chill a bit. I want you to chill. Yeah, right? Just one glowy square. Don't need much else. So yeah, this is why I have the gradient mask. So screw that. There we go. Come on. Alright, yeah, that's all I need pretty much. Yeah, it's my VFX master shader. It has like a bunch of stuff for VFX, which they come in pretty handy when making effects like this. It has like stuff for panning textures and blending noises and masks and colors and displacement and all that cool stuff in one really long place. Come on. Yeah. Alright. 3D start size, so it's gonna be thin, like quite thin. Well, though with that approach we lose the swirliness, so we'll see how that goes. You know what? I'm not gonna use a gradient. I'm gonna use a rectangle mask, so I can have fading on both edges, right? And rotation is gonna be like a random, going like this. I'm gonna have gonna make them die really fast. So, but I'm gonna make them. They can be big. So 4, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, that's something. Definitely more value, definitely less value. I know it's aggressive now. Gonna fix that. Maybe we'll leave. Yeah, turns out it's still a bit aggressive. Yeah, my guess is actually that these are not like this is one texture that has like a bunch of streaks instead of the way I'm doing it now, where each streak is like a separate particle. So I don't know, I'm not loving this. I think the other way was better. Well, the Fresnel master side, the side of the circle. Well, not the Fresnel, but I can use like this to mask. To also make like the sides. Yeah, the whole thing is pretty smooth on the reference, but I don't want it to be like so smooth, to be honest. Yeesh. Yeah, no, I definitely like this more. I mean, this is good, but I like this one. Or I mean, I can maybe fix it. Maybe. Why is it not obeying me? Yeah, again too. Maybe it's because lifetime was too small. Come on. I think that kinda looks better, maybe. Nope. I don't like that they're so rectangular though. Like, I prefer the more dynamic shapes of these. Yeah, exactly. It's way too symmetric. Yeah, well, I mean, the animation doesn't help either because it looks really linear right now. Doesn't have like a more dynamic feel to it. Yeah. Well, one other approach would be to have like a bunch of streaks in one texture and like, you know, spawn these and fade them out. Probably the same way that, you know, this is done. But I think it's a good place to leave it because I will have to grab something to eat and sleep at some point. So yeah, I mean, the individual elements themselves I like. I'm not 100% sold on the animation, the transitions right now. And the colors, I mean, the colors are nice, but they're like one color and black. They're like, those are my colors. I would prefer to try out something with more colors. But you know what, there's always next stream. But I did try out some things I wanted to try out and they look good. And yeah, this is like my overall new approach to some of my VFX because one thing I didn't like with my previous VFX is that they were too noisy. Well, no pun intended, but like they were too incoherent, like they were a mess technically. And now this looks, to me at least, more I don't know, more tight. and more like it has a clear direction. Of course, submit, yeah. Go ahead. Oh damn, more raids. Thanks for the raid, Andrew. Oh, and for the follow. More defined contrast in the center. Yeah, that's also something that kind of annoyed me, because I have this glow, and it, you know, kind of kills the contrast. The tones of green kind of blend too much with each other. Yeah, that's also one thing that I don't enjoy. If I had like more colors, or at least some variety when it comes to the colors, it could be better. I mean, the glow could, like, if I actually used a different hue, might break some things apart. Well, thanks, Andrew. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, Submit, and yeah, I fully agree. It's some of the things that I would want to like change on this would definitely be like around the colors and around like the overall contrast, because again, right now I'm just using like the one color. Oh, it's gonna be like this, huh? Oh, this is so annoying. Oh, I hate it. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing for this. So yes, looping, no pre-warm, no emission, and just like 1 and 1. Okay, thank you. Yeah, definitely agree. I just yeah, started like with one color and then got too afraid to add more colors. Well, definitely, I won't keep this red, but I do want to like change the inner thing to maybe something more. Well, it's the glow that is it killing. It's kind of killing my groove here. It's kind of desaturating the. Yeah, I have never saved like any colors ever in Unity. I mean, that's on me, obviously. Okay, just gonna bring things back because I ruined everything. That's kind of good. Yeah, no, I mean, maybe it could work without the glow, or I could maybe just like make it smaller or something, like more concentrated towards the center to like, you know, give some sort of glow in there. That looks fun, as if I have like a Fresnel kind of thing. And you know what, I could add more, and in this case this can actually be on 3 and this can go on 5, so the glow is behind. I need to change some contrasty things here. intensity brightness at the center of the sphere as the energy rotates. Yeah, that could also be cool. That could also be cool. I'm kind of digging this. I mean, I'm taking away a lot of the color, but because it has the glow, it kind of works. Are you using any custom scripts, or is it all default? It's all default, not even using any scripts. It's all Shuriken particle system. So this is kinda interesting. Kinda changes the dynamic of the two layers of the sphere's noise. Yeah, I might add another layer. Could be interesting. Yeah, no, I mentioned that I'm definitely not sold on the transition either. It doesn't feel good. I mean, I like the individual elements. I like some of how some things work together. But yeah, I really like how this looks when it's black though. Should I keep it like that? You know what? I will keep fiddling, and if I don't stop now, I will never stop. And I need to go, and I need to grab something to eat. Oh yeah, cyan. That's true, it does kind of look like that. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's funny how like this change where the glow is inside changed the dynamic, and it now seems that the lights were, you know, before the streaks weren't really coming from anywhere. Now it seems as if they're coming from the center. You're very right about that. So it's interesting how that kind of stuff like changes the dynamic of the elements and basically makes all of that more tight and more like justified. That's always cool. What if we had more sparks right at the explosion? Yeah, that's one thing. You know, I will fiddle more with it, but yeah, I need to finish it. I mean, so it's 3.5 hours of stream and I need to eat. So yeah, thanks everybody for your suggestions. I will keep them in mind and maybe take some notes too. And I will either like continue working on this off screen or maybe on the next stream, or I don't know. So, well, thanks so much for joining, Jade. I hope you enjoyed at least the tiny bit you just saw. So yeah, all in one stream day. See? Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, I do this often. One last thing. I do this often every Tuesday and every Saturday as it stands right now. So yeah. Thanks for the follow-up, you'll be notified. Alright, see you everybody.